What do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
It's time!
Welcome back to another. How does Kyle say it?
Another one.
Another software explorations on a Thursday night. Tonight is February 1st, the first day of February 2024. We've already made it through 1 month out of 2024. It is zooming by. So, before we go any further, if you do not know who I am your host, Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. Number one focus is winning, all right? We like to win, and that's our mission, right? We put in the work in order so that we can be successful in everything that we put our hands on. If we do not want to be successful in it, we don't even go for it. It's not worth it. All right. So, like I said, today is software explorations, right? We are going to continue reviewing our automation tools, Playwright, Selenium, Cypress, right? We've been automating through, writing automated tests on Free Mind Recovery, which was created by Calculus Coder. That's his startup business, right? We'll take a look at the site as a recap as we get into the show. But, before we go any further, we have to do what we always do to get into the show. We are going to go over our agenda for tonight. So, like I said, the topic for tonight is automation on Free Mind Recovery. You'll see how I look for selectors, how I write the code. We're using TypeScript. I don't know why I decided to do that, but I've heard such good things about it. But at the end of the day, it's still JavaScript, But that's the plan for tonight. That is our topic. And first and foremost, like I always love to do, is say thank you to all of the newest subscribers to the channel who are helping us grow so quickly, so rapidly. But as well, thank you to all of the existing subscribers who have been with me since the beginning, who are always showing support. I truly appreciate you guys. You guys are the best.
I appreciate you.
And let me move this thing so I can stop looking over. Let's put it right there. Gotta make adjustments. Let me move this. And we are good to go. All right. So, like I said, thank you to all of the newest subscribers. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you. Thank you to all the existing subscribers. But as well, I want to give a big salute, shout out, clap for the tech barbarians who are working so hard, so diligently. I am actively looking for different opportunities for my tech barbarians, so where they can plug in to build real experience. Like I said, I'm gonna repeat that, right? Repeat that. Real experience, right? Because so many of the things that we do, like whether it's a boot camp, whether it's an online course, they give us these practice problems and stuff like that, but it's not real, right? It's not really real. So then once we get like once we start applying for jobs and stuff and we can't find anything and we're like, oh, like why is it so hard? Why won't anybody give me a chance? Because we don't have we don't have that experience, and they don't, like, no one owes you a chance. No one owes you anything, right? So that's why I'm actively looking for them to actually work on real projects, real startups, small companies that whatever they do is actually going into production. So that's my plan. That's my goal. Right. So shout out to the tech barbarians who they rock with me. They put their trust in me to help them get to that next level. And whenever I see them like doing new things, doing cool things, pushing themselves further, like I am so excited to see that. Like that's what I like to talk about. I'll talk about that all day long, but as long as you put in the work, okay? So with that being said, if you are new to the channel, you don't know what we do here, well, you're gonna find out in just a bit, right? But do me a favor, because like you need this information, right? And the way that you're gonna keep getting it, you have to subscribe to the channel, right? And while you're doing that, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time we go live, every time we drop new videos, whether it's a short, whether it's a pre-recorded video, whether it's a clip from a live stream, whatever the case may be, right? So you have to hit that notification button, because there is so many things that get dropped on this channel that is so valuable to you, expanding your career, your goals, your desires, all of that good stuff, right? So go ahead and do that. Like the video, share the video with everyone you can think of. Leave me a comment, interact with me in the chat. I would love to talk to you, to see where you're at. Maybe there is something specific that you need that I can help you with, So I'm here to help you. So get in contact with me. All right, cool. And if you need what you do, but if you need it, which I'm telling you that you do need it, because you know that you need it, right? You need exclusive content about how to update your resume, how to update your LinkedIn, questions to ask in interviews, right? How to get to the interview stage, right? If you need that, as well as getting one-on-one coaching with me, right? Go over to www.techcoachralph.dev and sign up for the Patreon, where very, very low cost, but the value that you get out of it. You know what? Maybe I should increase the price, because what I think happens is people, when they see the price is so low, they don't value it, right? But maybe if I was charging you $1,000 a month, right, then you'd be like, oh, this is serious, right? And then you'd actually put in the work, or you might just waste your money. But people like to waste money, apparently, right? So they'll go and pay an exorbitant amount of money just to say, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then what I think the real thing is, when it doesn't work out, they can blame it on somebody, right? So what I am your coach. I am your trainer. I am in your corner, but I would not do the work for you. So if you are capable and willing to put in the work, but you need some guidance and direction, then I am the person for you. If you expect me to do it for you, then got to keep on moving. All right. So choice is yours, whether you want to level up or not, whether you're going to do what you need to do or not, that's totally up to you. But if you're going to make the right decision, then go over to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you can advance your technical and career skills. All right. So now let's move on into the live show schedule, our live show schedule. All right. So we have Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, the morning show, Coffee and Kata at 7:15 a.m. Eastern time. Right. And if you're really crazy and you're on the West Coast or Central time, wake up and join and join the fun. All right. So Coffee and Kata, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7:15 a.m. Eastern time, which means that would be 6:15 Central time. And what? 4:15 Pacific time. Oh, that's early. That is early, but I'm up. I'm up at that time getting ready. So what about you? All right. Then we have Sunday afternoons, software explorations. We are continuing going through Terraform. I think we're almost done with Terraform, although I didn't really go through the course that in depth because I ended up doing all that stuff in the course on the project that we were working on, right? So we're going to see what we're going to do with that, right? We're going to finish it up. But then once we're done with Terraform, we're going to hop right into the full DevOps course. So that includes Ansible, Packer, more Terraform, different Jenkins, probably different tools, right? That we use in DevOps. And because I really want to get more into that, touch that field, that domain. And while I like learning that, I also like to see how can I use that in QA as well, you know? So that is where we're going on Terraform. Those are Sunday afternoons, software explorations. And then we have Tuesday nights, our Q&A shows where you have questions. I provide you my insight, my feedback from a 20-year veteran in the tech industry, 15 years in QA, at least 12 years as a QA engineer focused on automation, right? So that is what I am here to do on Tuesday nights. So you definitely want to tune in for that. And that's why I tell you hit the notification bell, right? It's not for me, it's for you, right? It is for you because you need this information, right? And then we have Thursday nights. Tonight, we have more software explorations. And right now we're going through the automation of free mind recovery. But once we're done with that, we'll see where we'll go to next. I'm sure there's some requests, and like I'll get into that, but I'll tell you right now, right? So the past 2 days, I was in a training for contract testing, right? And if you're not familiar with contract testing, which I wasn't really either, but it has to do with testing APIs between providers and consumers, right? So we can definitely get into more into that. So we'll be talking about that, right? But real quick, one more time, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7:15 a.m. Eastern time, we have our morning show, Coffee and Kata. We have, we'll review some news and we'll do some coding challenges. Sunday afternoons, we have software explorations. We're going through Terraform. Tuesday nights, we have our Q&A session, your questions, my answers. And then we have Thursday nights, more software explorations. Right now, we're focused on QA and automation. All right. All right. So next up on the agenda is our pre-recorded content. So Mondays, we have candid conversations. This one was a good one. I really enjoyed this Monday. Hey, you got to put yourself first because they're not thinking about you. You can't be thinking about them. All right. And then Wednesdays, we have software explorations, concept and overviews. Yesterday, we spoke about screenshots and video recording and the different automation tools. Very, very helpful stuff. And I think we've kind of seen some of it already, but very, very good stuff, right? And then Fridays, we have the Bug Bite, where we review different software related and cybersecurity related bugs and how they affected different companies and their customers, and what they have to go through. And then throughout the week, we have shorts that I randomly drop, and we have our Q&A clips from the live Q&A show, and I release those so that those can be in bite-sized digestible pieces to help you level up in your career. The information that you need at the time that you need it. That's what I've heard it described that, right? Like I needed this right at this time. So that's what I try to do. That's my goal, and I try to make it fun, entertaining, all of that good stuff. All right. All right. Now, let's move on. And before we go on, we have my guy Colin in the chat. What's up, Colin? Colin says why it's not showing up? Oh, there it goes. Those conversations are the truth. Shout out to you, Colin.
I appreciate you.
All right. Now, next up on the agenda. So, what I always recommend that you do, right, is go over to the Chaos Camp GitHub, right, and I'll throw it in the chat for you. But go over to the Chaos Camp GitHub, right, and practice your technical skills with a Chaos Camp challenge. My good friend Don makes it very, very chaotic over there, I must say, right? But it is what you need to grow. It is what you need to get better, because the things that he puts in there, you're not going to get that in a boot camp. You are not going to, you're not getting it in a boot camp. You're not going to get it in an online course. What you do is the things that you learn in your boot camp and the things that you learn in your online course, you apply those to the challenges on Chaos Camp, and it makes you think. It makes you stimulate your mind so that you can really build your skills, your confidence into achieving your goals, right? Like, this is here to help you. Okay? All right. So let me drop the Chaos Camp link in the chat. And you go check that out and see how it can help you grow. All right? All right. Next up on the agenda. Okay? Let me get a copy of that. So, I was in a Slack channel, right? And someone posted, and it's a decent Slack channel, right? Now, I'm not a particular like crazy about it or anything like that, but I'm out there, right? I'm in these online streets trying to make connections, trying to network, trying to build with people, right? And a young lady dropped a link to a Discord, and I'm like, okay, let me go see what's popping in this Discord, right? I'm in crazy amount of Discords, right? And I went over there, and the things that they do there is absolutely amazing, right? So they have meetings every Mondays, right? And each Monday, like, it's so structured and organized, right? That each Monday it's a different topic. So I don't have the exact schedule in my mind, but I can tell you how it goes, right? So they'll have, like, let's say on the first Monday, they're going to be doing like mock interviews for example, right? So that, like, they'll pull up a job description and then they'll interview you for that based off that job description, right? Really, really useful stuff. Like, I do mock interviews in my one-on-one coaching, right? But they'll do it like in a group setting, and they'll pick like 3 or 4 people, like of like the people who would be like kind of experts in the field, and they're used to interviewing people, right? And they'll do a mock interview for you. And then on another Monday, they might do a review of your resume, for instance, right? And then another Monday, they'll do like a presentation of a project that you've been working on, and code reviews, different things, right? So useful. And then they also do like in-person meetups, all this type of stuff, right? So cool. That Discord is called Grammar Hub, right? I'm gonna post it in the. It should come into the chat at some point tonight, but I'm gonna post it right now. I would highly recommend you check that out. Join that Discord. Tell them that Tech Coach Ralph sent you, right? Because if you are in tech and you are looking to level up your skills and do it with a group of people who are going in the same direction that you are going in, I would highly recommend that you join that Discord, and you're gonna get put to work, right? They're like every meeting, they have everyone share their LinkedIn, so then that their LinkedIn network can grow, right? Very good stuff. Like, it's so organized, right? Like, I personally don't have that type of capacity to run something like that, but I'm glad to contribute. And not to mention, this coming Monday, I will be presenting on the topic of quality assurance to the members of that Discord, right? Have a presentation prepared to talk about QA, the different parts of QA, the roles of QA engineer, all of that good stuff, right? So that is the plan. I truly hope to see you there. Trust me, if you're in tech, whether you've been in there for a long time or you're fairly new, I would highly recommend that you join the Discord, right? Grammar Hub, and the link is in the chat. And I should put in the description of this. I'm gonna put in the description as well of the video of this live stream, right? But I highly recommend that you join that Discord. Very, very good stuff. Let's drop it right here. All right, the link is also in the description. So definitely go ahead and check that out. It is going to be good for you. Okay? Okay. So now let's move on to the next topic before we get to work. So the Agile Manifesto. The Agile Manifesto. Okay. So we've been going through a principle every week, or at least we try to, right? This week's, did we do that one already? I guess we did that one already. Okay, maybe we did that one already. So, in that case, this week's Agile manifesto principle is the 8th one. It says, let's look at the screen together, right? It says, Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. So, pace yourself to achieve great success, right? A lot of times we want to go fast, and we go so fast that we crash and burn, right? You have to maintain consistent pace. Right? You got to maintain a consistent pace, building precepts upon precepts upon precepts. All right? So, one more time. Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should maintain a constant pace indefinitely. A lot of times, right, you'll have the stakeholders or managers, C-suites. We're like, oh, we got to get this. We have this deadline. We have this deadline. These arbitrary deadlines, right? They want to make you go fast. They make you go fast. Make you go fast, and that's when you make mistakes. And then you're at a pace that you cannot keep. And then the software is full of bugs and stuff like that. Which we're gonna get into that a little later tonight, right? But just wanted to share that with you. Okay. Next up on the agenda. So let's do a little story time. All right. So what I want to talk to you real quick, right, is what causes burnout in the tech industry, right? I think in line with this principle of the Agile Manifesto about maintaining a constant pace indefinitely, what I think causes burnout, which is also what causes a lot of quote unquote startups, right? We spoke about that the other day. What causes burnout is that bad practices, bad understanding of Agile, bad architecture, right? So many times we want to go so fast. We just got to get to market. We got to get to market. We got to get to market. We don't have any testing. We don't have any deployment strategies, no unit tests. It's like what we have no infrastructure. It's like you have 2 developers and they're responsible for everything. And trust me, listen to when I tell you this, right? Developers make, without guidance from QA, make the worst QA, right? There's a reason that there's a separation between QA and software engineers. There are things that we look for and that we advise the engineers on that it's not natural in their mind to think of, and vice versa, right? We work together. And when I see software developers, engineers, whoever, right? Maybe they're front end developers, whatever. They're like, oh, we don't have any testing. We don't have any unit tests. We just, test it every now and then. And then, because once we get to market, then we're going to start testing. Imagine this, right? Imagine this. let's say you go to buy a car, right? And you ask, what are the safety protocols that were put in place? What kind of testing? Like, remember back in the days they had those crash test dummies, right? And what they tell you is, well, we really wanted to release this car, right? So a couple of the engineers or developers who worked on the car, right? They tested it, here and there, every few weeks, months, right? Make sure that the car was still turning on and rolling, But we haven't really tested it. We're waiting to get to market, waiting to release, so we can start selling it and start having buyers and users and all that good stuff. And once we do that, then we're going to focus on testing. Hey, I don't know. Right? So that's my thought on that. That is my thought on that. And here's what happens, right? Here's where the burnout comes in. Because now you release, things are working fine, right? But then you make a little change, right? So imagine this, right? So let's say you launch, right? Your startup launches and everything, and now you're getting users, but you didn't focus on unit testing, you didn't focus on functional testing. All you did was like a little test here and there, a little acceptance test here and there, right? So now you go to make a change because users like, oh, this is really cool. We would like to be able to do this, right? So you have bad architecture, your code isn't clean, you have no testing, and you go to release the changes, and now the whole thing goes down. Let's say you amassed 20,000 users around the time of release, right? A big release, right? And now, for an entire week, the application goes down. What happens to your users? What if they spent money on you? What if it's a free app, but you get paid from advertisers, sponsors, and stuff like that? What happens to your release? And that is part of the reason I think that a lot of these startups go down, because they have a really cool idea, a really cool concept, but their execution is lousy. Yes, I said lousy. So, that's how, because now the developers are under a lot of pressure. They're already under a lot of pressure to get this stuff released, right? But now that there's all these bugs, things aren't working, the company is burning money. Now the higher ups are like, what's going on? Like, why isn't this working? So now you try to patch it, like on the Titanic, or they're trying to dump the water out. You try to patch it, but it gets worse and worse and worse. What do you do? And now you're working like you never sleep, right? And you're frustrated because you did not properly go through the process of design, right? So that is how I think that developers and different people in tech go through burnout, because they're not adequately prepared for what's to come. If you know, you know. All right. So that is my idea. That is my thoughts. All right. Now let's move on. All right, we are almost at our coding phase. All right, so here is where we're at. I am thinking of changing up the morning show just a little bit, right? We've been focusing on a lot of challenges, using the Chaos Camp. We are doing the Git branching challenges. Then this year we're doing the Code Wars challenges, which we can always do like some of those every now and then, right? But I've been thinking about what I do in the morning, because so here's the situation, right? I'm learning Flutter, Flutter and Dart are the frameworks in the language where you can build mobile apps as well as web-based apps, right? It's like an alternative to React Native. So I heard that was like pretty popular. So I got the course for that, right? So I'm learning that. But in the process of learning that, I'm also using an app idea that I have to learn it and to build the app at the same time, right? And I'm also building it using test-driven development. Call me crazy, right? But I have a strong affinity to test-driven development, maybe of the QA mindset. So I've been working on it, right? And I've been working on the app. I've been writing the code out, writing my unit tests in a test-driven way, and it's going pretty cool, right? But it's like, for me, when I want to get something done, I'm like, well, if I have this 45 minutes to an hour, and it's like, I'll still keep working on it outside of that, but if I have this 45 minutes to an hour, why not make it the most productive and use those, 45 minutes to an hour to continue learning Flutter, getting better at test-driven development, building the app, right? And I have no problem telling you what the app is, because there's so many apps that do the same thing, and most of the time you guys aren't going to do it anyways, right? You're not steal my idea, go for it, right? So that is the thought about that. So I'm thinking, right, should I do that? Should we repurpose the morning shows where we still go over a few news articles, right? But we also we start to get into the development of learning Flutter, working on TDD, and building this app together, right? Because all I'm going to do on it's going to be a free app, throw some ads on it, use it or not, I don't care, because I'm really building it for myself. Everything that I build is really for myself, right? And if you find value in it, then by all means, I love it, but it's all for me, right? I'm selfish like that. I build what I need because I can, right? Because I can. I build what I need because I can. And if you benefit from it, then more power to the both of us, all right? All right. So what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to throw a poll in the chat, right? I want to throw a poll in the chat. If I can find it. Okay, so let's do this, right? Let's go to start a poll. What should we do during the morning show? There we go. So the two options are, and there's only two options, right? Learn Flutter, test-driven development, and build an app. And I can even put in what kind of app it is. It's a keto calculator app, right? Or continue with the coding challenges. All right. That is where we are at. So the poll is up. I'll leave it for the night. Curious to see what your thoughts are. I know what I'm leaning towards, but let me know what your thoughts are. And then we'll go from there, right? And I might override you. Who knows, right? I might still override. But I'm curious to see what your thoughts are, okay? All right. So let's continue. And I'll check it out. I'll check it throughout the night to see where we are at. So next up on the docket, this channel now has membership. So if you are interested in getting some additional premium YouTube content, some cool emojis as well, then by all means join the membership, right? It's very low cost, right? Let me see if I can get one of these. Let me see if I can get one of these emojis here. Do I have to become a member of my own channel? Oh, no, I don't. Look at that. So let's see what we have here. Oh, we have David Goggins mode. Let's see. Let's go Goggins mode. Right. There goes one. And then we have mine. we need tech coach Ralph. And then we have Mamba mentality. And then we have barbarian mode. Right? So if you want to like, and I call it the tech mercenaries, right? Because we are ruthless and we're for hire, right? Ruthless and for hire. So if you want to join the tech mercenaries, go ahead and sign up for a Tech Coach Ralph membership. Come and be a tech mercenary with me on YouTube. All right. You get behind the scene footage, you get exclusive content, might even do some private live streams if we grow big enough, you know? So check it out. All right. So we have Goggins mode. We need more Tech Coach Ralph, right? We need more Tech Coach Ralph. And then once we have to go into beast mode, we go into Mamba mentality. All right. Mamba mentality. And then, you know, for my barbarians out there, we have barbarian mode, you know. So go ahead and join the tech mercenaries with Tech Coach Ralph and join this. It's not an army. We're mercenaries, right? And we're for hire. We are for hire. Okay. Okay. All right. So, and lastly, before we get into our code, go ahead and if you're enjoying yourself, right? Or if you're finding this informative, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can know every single time we go live. Like the video, share the video. Go get the information you need at www.techcoachralph.dev. Get exclusive content as well in the Patreon. Very, very exclusive content. Content that I do not share anywhere else. As well as sign up for one-on-one coaching with me for the low. All right? All right. So it's time to get to work. It is time to get to work. All right? But first,
Please offer me your energy. I ask of you, please.
all right. So let's get to it. So we're going through free mind recovery. Let's put up our timer. And let me open up the next. Let me open up the WebStorm. That's what we need. And actually, let me do something real quick. Give me one split second. And we're back. Okay, so let me get my WebStorm open. And let me see, the internet is acting funny. So let's see what. Check the speed of it. Sometimes it's great, sometimes not so great. All right, running a speed test. But let's get set up while we're at it. Have our timer up. We have WebStorm open. And while we're here, right? Because I just opened the app I just opened up. Like in WebStorm, what opened up is the application that my tech barbarians are building. You know, and it's really cool to see the progress that they made from when this was just an idea back. I think our first meeting was like sometime in September, and you know, some people have dropped off. It is what it is. And some people, they are going strong, getting new people in, rotating. Like, you know, there's I always forget that word. Where's Natasha? I think it's, let me Google it. Let me Google the word. Is that it? Okay, yeah, it's attrition, right? So there's attrition in the workplace and everywhere. So, you know, people come, people go. You just have to make do and you have to continue helping people level up and get better. Whoever it is that wants to work with you and rock with you, that's what we do. That is what we're gonna do. Okay. So let's get to. Let me pull up the right project. Free mind recovery, and we are good to go. Let's put up our first 20 minutes.
It's time to do.
All right, so we are going to go to let's do a quick recap of what free mind recovery is, as well as what we've done so far, right? So before we go, let's get into a better mood, why don't we? Let's go to this one, and we're just gonna be rotating the lights across. All right, so that's more like it. That is more like it. And let's zoom in just a bit. And we're up a little bit. There we go. That's much better. Much better. All right, so let's do it. Okay, so let's look over here. So free mind recovery, right? Free yourself from any anxiety disorder. Move beyond just managing, dealing, and coping with anxiety. It's time to break free. At Free Mind, we believe in your potential to redefine your normal experiences, a transformative journey towards a life of calmness, confidence, and liberation from anxiety. So pretty much, it's a website that helps you with like your mental health and stuff like that, right? And you see this tag right here for prod. That is the tool, the Chrome plugin that I installed to identify what environment that we're on. Okay, so it's actually very useful. I would definitely recommend it. It's called Environment Marker, right? I have nothing. It's just a cool tool, right? Nothing to do with me. So definitely check that out. And so yeah, that's what this site does. You know, as you see here, anxiety, OCD, I forgot what this means. DPPR. He has it somewhere over here what DPPR is, right? But anyways, so that is what Free Mind Recovery does, and you can sign up for free. And if you haven't signed up, go ahead and sign up for it, right? And find and see like what Jared created here. You know, very cool stuff. So what we did so far, we automated signing up. Where is it? Am I logged in? I think I'm logged in. Okay, no. So you click account, and then you click on register. So we did that. Right, we ran into some issues with Chrome, or not with Chrome, with Selenium, right? But we're going to troubleshoot that tonight. But we filled out the form, right? And we had to put in a unique username and a unique email address. And then we put in the password and we clicked on register. And then we're able to, then it took us to a login page, and then we had to go and log in. If I was working at like, if I was on the software development team as like the QA engineer or product owner or something like this, I would have insisted on, after you fill out the form, right? It doesn't just take you to the login page. It either logs you in, or it takes you to one of those like verify your email or something like that, right? But just to like after you fill out the form, and then it just takes you to the login page to type in the same username and password that you just entered, it doesn't seem as it's the right path for me, at least. So, and that's why it's important to have a team, right? Where you can get some insight and some feedback on what are the best software development practices, the industry standards and stuff like that. This is a great project, a great website, a great application, but there's just like some software development principles. And that's why it's super important to have someone who has been in the industry for a long time to be working with you and rocking with you to help you have a better vision on the products that you're creating, you know. But and here's the thing, that can just be a V2 implementation, you know. It's not like, oh, this is it and it's never going to change. It can be V2. There's so many different options, and that's why like I really enjoy Agile, right? And I think, and you know, I don't know which one comes first, but the book for like both of David Goggins' book, but the most recent one, Never Finished, it's kind of like agile, right? When you're building software, it's technically never finished because you can always make enhancements. If you like, for instance, the iPhone, it came out in what 2007 ish, and there's a new version every year of the hardware, but also the software. How many times is there an update? What about the apps in the App Store? There's constant updates to those apps as well. So keep that in mind. Like everywhere around you is agile. Like for instance, a restaurant, right? When they add a new item to the menu, when they change the seating arrangements around, when they using upgrading to new software, right? Everything around you is based in an agile methodology, right? So think about that. Consider that, okay? All right. So let's look over at our code real quick. So the goal for tonight to get to automate login, right? Because we have the registration working for at least on Cypress and in Playwright, right? So get the login working, and then let's see if we can get Selenium working, find out what's going on with that, and then if we're able to get that working, then let's start to refactor our code to create functions and methods and all that cool stuff. All right, cool. Okay, so let's look at the code. This is the code, and this one is for registration. Registered. This must be for Selenium, is it? Let me see. No, this is for Playwright. Yeah, page locator. That's Playwright. And it goes all the way to submit, and then it's going to take you to the login page. We're trying to add some assertions on there to see, all right, when do you actually, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This one. I never remember the shortcuts for zooming in. There we go. All right, so let's minimize that. So we are looking over here, and we have register. And then we have here. So we have this register. Let's see which one is this one. This one is Cypress. And let's see, do we have a Selenium register? Okay, so there goes the Selenium register. And the Selenium one is the one that is not working too well. It gets all the way to here, and then it just dies out on us. So we'll come back to Selenium afterwards. And where did we get with Cypress? We got to... All right, so Cypress, we actually got to logging in. So great. So now we can just do the same thing on Playwright. So okay, we actually made it to the logging in on Cypress. So now let's do it on Playwright. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm just going to follow this right here. So I'm just gonna copy this, right? I'm not gonna type, or at least what I can do is put this over here. So I can have the Playwright on top, and we can say, what we're gonna say is once we get over here, we're going to say await dot space page dot locator, and we're going to use the h2 on the page so we can do some type of validation, right? And this right here, what I'm doing, it's not necessarily to say one that I prefer one over the other or one is better, because I guess what, I never used TypeScript before. Not sure how much I'll be using it in the future, but just being able to explore TypeScript and being able to automate on all three of these libraries is really, really helpful and informative. All right, so now how do we validate in Playwright? Let's pull up the Playwright documentation so we can follow that. Here. And we're going to node. And we're going to go to documentation, run example test, and let's see. So write a test. How to use assertions. Okay, so expect to have text. So let's do that. Expect locator to have text, right? So let's go back over here to okay, we have to do expect. So await, expect, and then page.locator, and then we're gonna say that's gonna be a h2, and then we're gonna say to have text, and the text that it should have is going to be sign in. All right, and then we're gonna do another one. Await, expect. Kind of annoying that you have to write await every single time. Locator. We're gonna say this is gonna be h2 plus p. That means the p that's right adjacent to that h2 is what we're gonna be targeting, and then say to have text, and then we're gonna say that one is gonna be start your recovery today. All right. So now let's go here, and we're going to say now we're going to actually do the logging in. All right. Did we do the unique email address on this one yet? Let's find out. We did not. So we're gonna have to implement that as well. So let's go ahead and let's implement that. So, and here's what we can do, right? When we start to refactor, we can extract this and put it into like some type of helper or utility file and just call that method to generate a unique email address based on the date every single time. So and that way we don't have to have that same code over and over and over again, right? So, but for now, we will be not the cleanest of coders as we get this ramped up, right? So let's just copy that right there. Actually, we're gonna need more than that. We're gonna need all of this, right? And look at all this code that we have to duplicate, right? Not good practice whatsoever. But we are going to refactor. Yes, we are. We believe in refactoring over here. We don't like bad code. We surely don't. So let's just drop this in here. Just like that, right? And we're going to, I don't know, how does Playwright log? Let's find out. Let's see, Playwright log. I guess we can just do, let's see. Let's just do console.log for that, right? And we can change it later if we need to. So console.log, the username. Okay. So we're generating the username and the email address. And we're going to pass that into here. So this is the username. And then we're going to take this and we're going to say generate email address based on name. And you see like my method names or my, not even my methods, right? But my variable names are really long, right? But I also make them very descriptive. I don't want to put a comment about what email or random email means, right? I want to be able to just read this. It says generate unique email address based on date. And I know exactly what that variable is doing and what that method is doing. All right. So that's how I like to do it. Okay. So we have that. And now we're going to be logging in, right? So let's continue to the next part. Using this as our guide, right? We got that. So now we're going to take this input. Say await page.locator. And it's going to be input name equals email. And then we're going to say fill with the generate unique email address, or this should be, oh, come on. Generate unique email address based on date. And then we're going to say await page.locator. And then the selector is going to be input name equals password. Close that bad boy off. And then fill. And then it's going to be password 123. And then we're going to do another await page.locator. And we're going to put, and don't you just hate writing the same thing more than once? Jeez. All right. So we're going to say button type equals submit. And we're going to just click that bad boy. All right. So now, if we run Playwright, oh, we have one more, and then we're going to say await expect page.locator header. And then, oh, wait, that's not right. That's not right. My bizad. So page.locator, that's going to be header. And we're going to say to have text. And it's going to be welcome to free mind. All right. So we have our login completed for Playwright. Okay. So now let's try to give it a run. We are going to open back our terminal, and is it npx Playwright? I think that's the command to launch Playwright. And then if not, we'll look it up. But npx Playwright test. And then if we do headed so we can see it, and project, is it? And Chromium. Let's hope for the best, right? Let's hope for the best, and let's kick it off. I don't think the project flag worked, but it's running. So let's see. Boom, 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 boom. There we go.
They ain't believe in us.
They did not believe in us, but we got it. We got it. So we are able to log in on that one. So we are at a good spot right now, right? We're a good spot for Playwright and for Cypress, but we have the pesky Selenium, which is not working. So we're going to spend a few minutes trying to troubleshoot it. And if we're not able to get too far, we're just going to scrap Selenium in TypeScript, and we're going to move on to trying to do some refactoring, okay? So let's get to it. We'll at least start getting to it, because I see the timer is almost up for our first 20-minute segment, right? So let's see where we're at. Okay, so let's close this. And you know what? While we're at it, why don't we run Cypress too, right? Why don't we run Cypress as well? Anybody remember the command for running Cypress? It is Is it Node Cypress? Let's try Node Cypress. I don't know. Let me see. Let's just go to the website and find out. I never remember Cypress. Poor Cypress.
Lunch break! Lunch break!
It is time for lunch. But what is the how do we start up Cypress? This is the command would be where is the command to start it? That's what I'm missing. Writing your first test. It is going to be let's see, maybe it's under getting started. This is what I'm looking at over here. What do we do? Opening the app. That's what we want. It's just Cypress open. NPX Cypress open. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I already have NPX up. NPX Cypress open. All right, so we have Cypress open. And let's do start end-to-end testing. And there we have it. So if you look over here. We have our registration spec. So let's run our registration and then we'll go to break and then we'll come back and we'll work on Selenium, right? So boom, boom, boom. And Garrett, I apologize for creating all these new users on your website. But guess what? You have some automation. And like I said, it would be a good idea to set up a dev environment where these tests can be run on a regular basis and then the database can be refreshed every week or something like that and see what's going on. All right, so there we go. So it working in Cypress. Let's go to break before we come back and work through what's its face, Selenium. All right. So we got 2 out of the 3 working. Let me know what you think. Hopefully that you're finding this helpful and informative. You know, we're doing what we have to do, right? Like every day, getting better, every day leveling up, okay? So, on my agenda, I wanted to talk about something. What I want to talk about is what did I name the show? So I named the show It's Not My Job, right? What is your job? So many people, they come across the like so let's say you're a developer, right? Let's say you're a software engineer. And you are in an agile. Let's put up our 5-minute break, right? And then whatever we don't get, like we can continue this on our next break, okay? But let's say you're a software engineer, right? And you work in an agile environment because I don't really think there's many other environments out there unless you're working for some archaic, maybe some government agency or something like that, and they are using they're using like a waterfall methodology. You know, let me move this over a little bit. Let me play that back, see what happens. Let's see what happens with that. But like I was saying, right? You are working in a software. You're working in a software development team, right? And you have a QA engineer, you have a product manager, a product owner, you have a scrum master, whatever the case may be, right? And you are of the mindset and of the mentality of it's not my job to do A, B, or C, right? Well, there's a problem with that, right? Because one of the principles of agile is that people should be able to like it's kind of like you have your roles, but it's also like interchangeable. It's kind of like role-less and stuff like that. And with the mentality of it's not my job, you miss out on so many different opportunities for growth, right? You put yourself at and not only that, right? You start to appear as the person who's not a team player, right? I hate the mentality of it's not my job. It's not my job. It's not my job. In the tech industry, you have a title, but your job, your position is kind of liquid, right? Because you can be doing this, you can be doing that. But what I always tell you on this channel is how are you adding value? How are you adding value? Right? And we see all these layoffs happening left and right. And people are scared, right? Because who wants to be laid off, right? You want to be at a company and stuff like that. You want to be established. Some people want work-life balance. You know how I feel about work-life balance, right? You know how I feel about balance in general, right? But you want to do all these things. You want to be stable. You want to be able to pay your bills, right? But you're also talking about it's not my job to do this. It's not my job to do that, right? And now, guess what? The the person whose job it's not to do a certain thing, who volunteers and wants to be part of it, they're going to be the ones who get promoted, who stays there longer when time for cuts are happening, right? They're like, oh, who should we cut? Well, this person, they were always in favor of like helping out, working with other teams, giving different recommendations, different insights and stuff like that. While this person, every time we asked them to do something, they would pull out their job description and say, "Oh, nope, on line 52, it says like it's not in that job description. I checked the 100 lines of the description and it's not there. Not my job, not my job." Right? See me, I love doing my job. What my job is, guess what? I don't really know what my job is, right? I know that like this is how I describe my job, right? This is how I describe my job. Make sure the customers have the best experience possible using our products, and we do it in the most efficient way to save the company as much money as possible, right? So kind of kind of going in parallel, right? Make sure the customers have the best experience while costing the company the least amount of money, right? So, and I'll tell you this, right? Like we've been working, like my team has been working on efforts to reduce costs, save the company money. And there was like part of the things that we're doing, there was going to be a task, right? That if we like doing this task manually was going to take God knows how long, right? And when I was talking to the developer, he's like, "Yeah, there's this tedious task that we have to do where we have to go into AWS and do this and that, right?" And I was
Get a move
like,
on. Back to work. Chop, chop. Let's go. Come on. Get a move on. Back to work. Back to work. Back to work.
no, like we have to do this part manually, like navigate into the console and everything, like into the AWS console, like you've seen me go in there and do. And we have to do this manually and create these jobs and like how many jobs is there gonna be to do this, right? And he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, and that when I heard the word tedious, I thought like, is doesn't AWS have like a CLI and a Python library or something like that, right? Bodo 3. So I said, "All right, give me some time. Let me see what I can do." Right. And I started working on like figuring out the CLI. Like I've I've rarely used the CLI before, but I'm pretty good at reading documentation and researching online, right? So I started like looking at it and messing with the CLI and like sending some commands to AWS and see what's going on, making sure we have the right permissions. And I tried it out, send the commands. And for the first one that we're doing, it was like maybe 5, 6 jobs that needed to be created, right? So from doing it manually, right, for 5 or 6 jobs, it might have took like 20, 30 minutes to get all of them created. Let's assume 5 minutes per job. By the few hours that I spent, maybe it might have been a total of like 4 or 5 hours between 2 days that I spent figuring out the CLI, recreating the steps to create the job like as you do it manually, right? And trying it out, like putting the right parameters in place, the right information. Not only did I learn a lot about AWS and the CLI, right? We're able to get all the 5 jobs created. And so I'll let you know on our next break how much time we created the 5 jobs, the 5 or 6 jobs, how long it took based on the time I spent to investigate that. And then I'll tell you the next progression of what we did and how I'll tell you some more stories about that, right? But we're going to get back to work, right? So on our next break, I'm going to tell you how much time we saved and then what happened next, okay? So hopefully you are excited to find out because I'm excited to tell you, right? I'm excited to tell you, but we have work to do. We have work to do, okay? Let's do it. So next 20 minutes is up and going.
Let's go! Let's go!
I think every time you hear that "Let's go" from Little John, you just naturally it's like the "What Is Love" song, right? Every time I hear the "What Is Love" song, I just have to like start bopping my head, you know. So, anyways, NT ways, and guess what? I have some new hats on the way. And you know what? If anybody is looking to market their hats, I love wearing hats. Anybody looking to market their hats, I will be more than happy to wear them on the stream for you. All right, just if anybody is a hat maker, they have a hat business or whatever the case may be, right? And you are looking to market your hats, by all means, reach out to yours truly, Tech Coach Ralph, and I will be happy. And I repeat, I will be absolutely happy to wear your hat on the stream.
Let's get it.
All right, so let's get it. So we're logged in. We're going to be troubleshooting. We're gonna time box, right? Time boxing is super important. We're going to time box troubleshooting the Selenium portion for 20 minutes, right? For these 20 minutes, we're going to be working on Selenium. And if we are not able to make any forward progression on it, we're going to leave it be. And then in the last 20 minutes, we're going to work on starting to refactor. And whatever we don't get to refactor today, we shall continue to refactor next week. Okay? Okay. So happy that you're with me on that. So let's go over to this screen. And so we're done with this. Let's close this out. We can leave Cypress open, no big deal. Let's go ahead and do this. So this is, all right. So we don't even need this right now, to be honest with you. We want to have Selenium open. I wonder why this TypeScript looks different than this TypeScript and this TypeScript. Anyways, so let's see what we got going on. So async function, login to site, assert. Let me see how this looks real quick. So this one just has test, but they're 2 different libraries. So, all right, let's run the Selenium real quick. Right, let's run the Selenium real quick. See what we get. Let's open up a new, or we use this one, and we're going to say node. Did my keyboard die? Node, and then we're going to say Selenium test, and we're going to say register spec, and I think that's it, right? Let's kick that one off. So it opens up. So, and it fails here, right? So now this is where we have to troubleshoot. All right, let me pause it. I want to move this thing. Something. Let's see, can we move that? There we go. Let's move that right there. Make it a little smaller so that it can fit right between our timer. There we go. Let's put it right about there. And let's kick it off. All right, cool. Wanted to move that over a bit. We still have to move it on the big one. But anyways, so let's look at our error. It says unable to locate XPath selector. And we know that it works, right? So let's see. Let new error. No such element. Let's see if it can take us to exactly where the error is happening. I mean, we know it's happening here. We have our await. You have to set an await on the timeout? I don't think so because we don't have, well, boom, boom, boom. Let's see. See, no, that doesn't work, right? Because you add that await and it's going to tell you this doesn't do anything. So, okay. So what's causing this? All right, so let's look at some Selenium code, right, or documentation, to be honest. Let's go to over here and let's see what we can do. Let's go to documentation. Let's go to WebDriver, drivers. We know the clicking works, so why doesn't the, let's go to interactions, JavaScript. We want to be able to fill in text. Be elements, finding web elements, interacting with web elements, send keys. We have that. But where is the, I mean, it should be pretty self-explanatory, to be honest with you. All right, send keys. There you go. So await, we have that. I'm going to be looking over here at the same time. Await, and then driver find element by. Very strange. I'm going to try something ghetto, right? I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to just try to refresh the page and see what happens. Like if it's able to find it, because if it does find it, right, then there's some type of DOM issue going on. So let's do this. We're going to go over here. We're going to put that await driver dot navigate dot refresh. All right, let's see what that does. That was stupid. That was dumb. Like, why did I have to refresh the page in order for it to be able to fill out the form? Right? Does that make any sense to you? I don't know. Like usually, I don't know. I don't. It can't be the site because it works perfectly fine in Playwright and in Cypress, right? But using it through Selenium, I had to refresh. That doesn't make much sense to me, right? But it's all good. It is all good. Let's go and let's Google that real quick, right? Let's Google that real quick. So you'll get to see how I search this stuff. This is important, right? Selenium JavaScript or Selenium JS. Can't find element unless page refresh. Comes out of there you go. Look at cannot find element unless page is refreshed. I don't know if this is Java or let me see. Realized that the second time the first page is refreshed, I had to do driver dot. There's no. I don't know. Let me see. Won't find on page. See, it's not. See the page. It's not after it's being reloaded. It's. Something weird happening with the DOM, right? I don't like it, but you know, we kind of figured it out. So let's go ahead and finish automating Selenium, right? I don't like that result, but you know, it is what it is. So it was so now we have this refresh and we're going. I wonder if like if we're gonna have to refresh the login page as well, right? But let's go ahead and take the code from here. What we can do, we can minimize this. And we can put our Playwright right up under it. And we're definitely, this is going to be the first thing that we refactor because having to put this 3 times. Did you say 3? Yes, I said 3. 3 times. It's crazy to me. This is the worst design. This is the worst. Like if I was to push this to GitHub and I was to put that as some type of portfolio, I wouldn't even hire myself, right? I gotta be honest with myself, right? I wouldn't hire myself if this was what I was putting out there. This is terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, but this is how we learn. This is how we get started. You know, we make it work, and then, my friends, we make it better. Okay, what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it work, and we're gonna make it better. Let's copy this. Copy all the way up to here. Copy that. And let's go in here and we're going to paste. Okay. So now we got all that good stuff in there. And we're going to come down over here. And we're going to say username. And we're going to say I just got to.
Good guy.
He's a good guy. See, even when I am at my worst, he'll still hire me. So I appreciate you, good guy. I appreciate you. So let's go with let me see, what is this? TCR. What did I name this? Generate unique username based on date. And now the email address is going to be generate email address based on date. So that should allow us to create a new email address. And then here we are, right? So now let's go ahead and continue because I'm curious to see if we're going to be able to log in, right? Because of the weird stuff that was happening, right? So we are all the way up to here. Let's set this timeout. Let's set this timeout, waiting for the page to load. And we'll definitely fix that as well, right? But we're just putting this in here for now. And now we're going to do an assertion. Do we have to await an assertion? I don't know. Assert. Apparently that's not necessary. If it does become necessary, we'll fix that, right? But let's go to assert. And how do you do an assertion? It's expression and then message. So we're gonna say I put it right in here. Page driver dot find element by, and they're gonna say by, what are you looking for? By CSS. Oh, just by CSS. Okay. And then we're going to say inside of this, we're going to say button. And then we're going to open up our brackets and we're going to say type equals submit. And we're going to do that. Find element. And we're going to say here get text. Or is it just text maybe? Let's try that. And then that's going to be equal to sign in. Hopefully that's right. Hopefully that that text is correct. All right, so there goes one. And then we're going to do the next one. Assert await driver dot find element. And it's good to write this. Oh my goodness. It's good to write this stuff out, right? Because it gives you practice coding in that language as well as remembering the different commands that there are, you know, by CSS. And this is going to be oh, I put the wrong thing in there. Plus P. We'll fix that in a bit. And then we're going to say this one is just text equals start your recovery today. Right? Right. But this one is going to be CSS, which is going to be H2. All right. So we got that. And now we are going to log in. So await driver dot find element by CSS. And we're going to say input name equals email. And then we're going to send keys. No help? No help. Okay. And then we're going to say email address. We're going to do await driver dot find elements by CSS. And it's probably going to be input name equals, is it just password? Yep. And we're going to say dot send keys. And we're going to say password 1, 2, 3. All right. Ooh, what did I just do? What did I just do? Okay. What is this? I don't know what all this stuff is. We shall find out. Okay. What is this stuff over here? We'll see what that. I don't remember. Like I wasn't really paying attention to the site. Maybe I added that for something else. But let's see here, right? So we have here password 123, and then we should click submit. Driver dot find elements by dot css button type equals submit, and we're gonna just click on that bad boy. I feel, oof, I don't. Let me just put this here like that, just to be safe, right? We might have to run it again, anyways. But so we got that, and now let's do an assertion. Await driver dot find element, and we're gonna do
Lunch break. Lunch break.
by CSS, and that's just gonna be header, and we're gonna say text equals welcome to free mind recovery. Or freemind.com, or just freemind. All right, there we have it. So let's try to run this because I don't remember what this text down here is doing. So I'm gonna just comment it out and see if we're able to get past that. All right, so let's go ahead and open up our terminal before we go to break, and let's do one quick run. Let's see. It's registering. Well, I mean, we're able to fill out the form, so that's absolutely awesome. Oh, okay. See, so look at the difference here. Because I don't remember putting this stuff in say okay. I don't remember putting that inside of the other browsers, so we do need this. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna take this right here, and we're just gonna move it on up to here. And we can get rid of that. Run it one more time. Yeah, I didn't see that. I was like, why isn't this doing anything? But yeah, there was a JS alert. And the weird thing is, I didn't see any JS alert when running it in Playwright or in Cypress. So that is pretty interesting. Let's see if we're able to handle that alert. Are we not handling? Okay, why aren't we handling the alert? No such alert. No such alert. Is it because no, there's a timeout there. Strange. Well, we could like that's not a big deal. We know that we just have to figure out how to handle this alert. But that we can definitely take care of that. All right. So let's go to break. Awesome. Awesome. So I have my buddy in the chat. Good guy.
Good guy.
He says that he would hire me with this terrible, terrible code. I appreciate you, good guy. I
appreciate you.
And good guy has always had my back. He says he got a I got a JS alert that I did not see, but I see it now, and we took care of that. All right, we sure did. Okay. So back to the story. Okay, going to throw up another 5 minutes on the clock. So what would have taken us to do to create these 5 jobs, right? Actually, no. Before we go on to that, right? So if you haven't done so yet, right, you're getting all this content, all this code about how to work through Selenium, Playwright, Cypress, right? Which I'm not that familiar with Playwright or Cypress, right? But we're here, we're working, right? On a Thursday night. The first day of February. We're in a new month. Are you focused? How are your goals going? Did you break all your New Year's resolutions already? Come on, let's go. Let's get to work, right? So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can know every single time I drop new content, because you need this information, because you need to stay focused. I am here to help you stay focused, right? That's why I go live just about every single day, to help you stay focused on your goals. And I'm going to keep dropping all this information until you just like, you know what? I'm going to block him everywhere, because he is keeping me accountable. The things that I said that I'm going to do, he is making sure that I do it, right? That's what I'm here for. If you don't like it, exit stage right. Okay? So also, if you're ready to make that next step to level up your technical skills, go ahead and join the Patreon, www.techcoachralph.dev. Exclusive content in there, right? Exclusive content in there. How to better update your resume, right? How to set up your LinkedIn. The questions that you need to ask at interviews, right? Ask good guy. I live streamed updating my resume like 2 weeks ago, maybe. And he sent me a message. Like, hey, based on your live stream, can you look at my resume? Make sure that it's getting in the right direction, you know? That's what we do there. That is what we do. So if you need my eyes on your resume, the only way you're gonna get that to happen, because I don't look at resumes for just about for anyone anymore, right? If you're not a Patreon member, I'm not looking at your resume. Simple as that, right? I have things to do. Time is valuable, right? My motto: don't let anyone disrespect your time. Make sure you always, I repeat, you always respect your time, right? So back to, oh, by the way, there are channel memberships as well. You know, behind the scene footage, whatever, things that I'm working on, maybe how I create content. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll live stream how I get ready for the week, you know, in case anyone's interested. Who knows, right? But that's going to be for members only of YouTube members, right? The YouTube membership is totally separate from what we have going on the Patreon, whatever it is, right? Thank you for the support. I really appreciate you all. So back to the story, right? Back to the story. So how much time do you think that using the AWS CLI, we're able to save creating those 5 jobs manually in the AWS? You doing it in like with the CLI, right? So this is outside of like building, like figuring out how to use the CLI, right? Outside of building, like figuring out how to use the CLI, right? It took 30 seconds. Actually, no, I'll take it back, right? It took like 1 minute, right? Because I had to, in the terminal, like in terminal or command prompt, you know, when you press up, it takes you back to the previous command that you wrote. So got it to work, right? And then I'm like, all right, now it was 5 files or something like that. Go up, update the path, go up, update the path, and boom, everything worked, right? And then the my lead developer, right? He's like, you know, it'd be even cooler if all we had to do was pass the name of the like as a variable of like how the job gets executed, right? So I'm like, okay. Let me see what I can do about that, right? And guess what? Like this doesn't really like this isn't really let me see if I can move this one. I get distracted sometimes. Let's see. It's bothering me to be here. There we go. Let's move that right about there. All right, cool. So I'm like, yeah, let me see what I can do because
Get a
I'm
move
like,
on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
and we're like, maybe I can use because now apparently I'm some type of Python expert after learning it last year, which use what you learn, right? But I'm like, maybe we can do it through the Bodo 3. And I'm like, well, or maybe we can do it through a shell script. Who knows, right? So I'm like, I don't like because the thing is like there's multiple AWS services that you need to connect to and stuff like that. So I'm like, let me see what I can do, right? Let me see if I can figure this out in Python. So create a story on our backlog to build this script, right? But because we were like running ahead of schedule and the stuff that we had to do, I'm like, all right, before we even get into the next sprint, I'm gonna start looking into this, see if I can figure it out, right? And I started putting it together, I started building it out. There were two components to building the script. You had to log into if you've seen us use it before on other live streams, but AWS S3, right? The storage, right? So I'm like, all right, we have to connect to the storage and query it to pull some information off of that, right? And then based on that, we need to use that to build the jobs, right? So I'm like, all right, let's go step by step. So me, when I'm building something, right, I list out all the different steps that it takes. And this isn't like I'm building an application. This is just a script that we're building, right? That we're going to be using over and over, running it locally and stuff like that. But I write it out, right? It's okay. The first thing that we need to do, and remember, I haven't used I barely ever use the CLI, right? And then I really never used the Bodo 3 Python library, right? So I'm like, I have like 100 tabs open, figuring out how to make this connection, how to query it, and everything like that, right? So shout out to Stack Overflow, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. I write out all my steps, right? Okay, so now we have to connect to it. We need to be able to find a bucket. That's what they call them in S3, right? Need to be able to find a bucket, and then we need to be able to list the content of that bucket, right? And then parse that out, and then take this information, move it over here, right? So we're able to, and then we have loops and stuff like that, a bunch of stuff, right? And we get to that point, and we're like, okay, cool. So I got that working, and this is like in between sprints because I didn't want to add it to our current sprint, right? If you're not familiar with what sprints are in agile methodology, I'm going to be doing videos about that and how to implement that in your personal life as well as your work life, so that you can be a lot more efficient in what you do, right? But that's going to be in the Patreon, and I might make these presentations available to make private presentations to different groups, right? But anyways. I'm like, all right, so I didn't want to bring it into the current sprint. I'm like, let me work on this side of desk, right? And then because we're close to the end of our sprint. So then we get into, so I was able to get most of it done, right, before we got into our next sprint. And I have the S3 connection. I'm already starting working on creating the jobs, all that cool stuff, right? And then we start our sprint, and I'm like, I'm at the last step. So what I did was, instead of creating a bunch of test jobs, right? And then we have to go back and find a way to delete them. I said, all right, let me just output everything that it's going to do, right? And then once we output correctly, then I can start creating the jobs, right? So follow me here, right? So I see all this is working. I see that it's gonna structure, and I'm like, all right. At the same time, the developers they're working on their end to be able to create the how would I say it? They're creating the files that the script is going to consume in order to do its thing, right? So guess how many files that ended up being generated based on the type of work that we had to do, right? Because the first time we did it, it was a very, very small size, right? Like, and that's why it ended up to be like five of these, 5 times that we had to would have had to do it manually, which the CLI ended up doing it 5 times. But guess how many files that was generated now based on a much larger scale, right? So it was about 50. I think it was like 57, I think the number was, right? 57 different files generated, right? So we were going to have to go in and create it 50, like create it manually. If we weren't able to use the CLI, right? We're gonna have to create it 57 different times, right? Doing the same monotonous, tedious work of like, oh, let me go and log in here, find this file, and do this, right? And 57 times, right? And this is just for one instance of the project we're working on. We're going to have to do it, and there's like 10 of them, right? So let's estimate each one of them has 57, right? We'll pull up the calculator real quick, right? So we'll do the math together. So let's go here. And let's just do this, right? So let's say there's 57 of them, right? That we would have to manually do it 57 times. And there are let's say 10 different times that we have to create it 57 times, right? Let's just say 11, right? So that's 627 times we'd have to do it manually, right? And let's say each time it takes us 5 minutes to create one, right? That'll be 3,135 minutes. So how much time is that in hours? So let's break it down to 60. So it would take us 52 engineering hours, right? And so by engineering hours, however, like whoever's creating it, right? Whether it's an engineer, whether it's QA, we all get paid nicely, right? But think about 52 hours, right? So let's just throw out a number. Let's say an engineer makes about, I don't know, $80 an hour. I don't know, right? So let's say times 80, right? It would cost $4,180 for an engineer to go and create these batch jobs, however many times we calculated that it had to be, right? Waste 52 hours of their time, right? So putting that into context, right? So creating the script, right? Let's go back to full screen. Creating the script, right? Creating, and see how it's gonna put it together. And all we have to do is then now we just have to pass the name of the instance that we want to create, and it's going to go through and create all 57, right? So with that being said, it was able to do all of those, create all 57, right? And get it scheduled, ready to go in just. So let's get back to work, right? Let's get back to work because we need to finish up for the night, right? So we're going to go for another 20 minutes, and then I'll tell you how much time we saved creating this script, which, remember, technically on paper, which what's good is paper, right? As long as the paper's the paper is money, I'm all with it. But all of I don't was it my job to do? It's debatable, right? I made it my job because I wanted to contribute to the team to make us be better, go faster, be stronger, right? Be more efficient, save the company money, make the customers happy, right? The best of both worlds. So when we get on our next break, once we're done, before we wrap up for the night, I will tell you how much time creating this script saves us. All right. All right. So let's get back to work. Let's get back to work. Our last 20 minutes of the night. Let's do it.
It's time to do.
All right. So where are we at now? So I'm not going to spend much time getting this alert to work right now in Selenium. Let's just start refactoring because we know that we're able to create the account and everything like that. But for some weird reason, it's giving us an alert. I wonder if it's like some. I wonder if it's some logging thing. I don't know why Selenium, why it's giving us that in Selenium. But whatever. We're not going to focus on that. All right. So what we are going to focus on, we are going to focus on refactoring. The first thing I'm going to do, right? Like I said, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go over here and we are going to make this. Let me see if I can do it like this. I'm going to see if I can do this. I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to create a new directory. We're going to call it helpers, right? And inside this new directory called helpers, we are going to say, we're going to call that, we're going to make it a TypeScript file. We're going to call that, create user data dot, let's go with, I don't know, dot spec dot ts. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let me do a quick search. What is the dot spec for? Let's see. Oh, it's used to write. So we don't need the dot spec because that's used to write unit tests and stuff. Let's rename that. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Just a rename anyway, so whatever. Okay. And before I go on, right? Good guy said, highly recommend. Let Coach Ralph help you. Right? Let me help you. You need help? I'm here to help. All right. Shout out to good guy as always. All right. So create user data, right? So what I want to do, I want to take this right here. And my biggest concern is, am I going to be able to use this inside of Cypress, right? Because I know a lot of times Cypress, it wants things to be inside the folder. So let's take this. And let's do that. Duplicated code fragment. Show all duplicates like this. Let current date. Where do you see duplicate code? And how do I fix it? Join subsequent variable declaration, convert to const. Will that fix it? Okay, let's try to fix. Let's see if we can do that. Did that fix it? I guess. All right, cool. Actually, this one can stay as a let, I guess. All right, cool. So we have this, and we're going to do. What I want to do, how do I want to do this? Do I want to do a function for it? Let me think. We could do. Yeah, let's do this, right? So we're going to say, see. How do you create a function in? Let me see. How do you create a function in JavaScript? Let's see. So it's just function. You like it's so many different ways. Like in Java, it's gonna be like void, and then in Python, it's gonna be just def. It's different in every language, right? So let's say we say generate unique or unique email or unique user. Okay. Probably naming these functions wrong too now that I think about it. And we're gonna go like that and like that. And if we take this and we drop it in here, we should say I want to return generate unique email address. Okay, you just pass it in there. The only thing is I want the email address and I want these two to be the same though. I wonder if I can take so this one is the email one, right? I wonder if I could return two things. I wonder if I could return two things. And if I say, can I do this? I cannot. Because left side comma is unused and has no side effects. In Python, I could do that, but it's okay. What I can do is create a dictionary. User that unique user info equals, and then we're gonna say create a dictionary for username, and that's gonna be generate that, and then I have to rename these variables because they are not in the proper format, but that's fine. And then email address and generate unique email address, right? So there we go. And then now we just return here. Why? He's talking about Willis. Inline variable. Okay, yeah, you can do that. All right, cool, perfect. So, shout out to the helpers out there, right? So we have that created. So now if we call this generate unique email address function, should return us a dictionary. So now let me go ahead and get rid of this right here. And what we're going to do is we are going to say, we're going to import. I don't know if I have to export that though. Let me see. Import. Probably go outside. Let's rename this. Generate unique user info. right? And let's see, am I able to get this in here? I might have to export it. Generate unique from // helpers / create. So what does it say? Is not a module. Remove unused import. So we need to make that a module. How do we do that? And again, so we're gonna do, I think it's export. Remove export. Let's Google that real quick. Let me see. Function name. So now we say how to use JavaScript function from another file. All right, that's what we want right here. Calling a JavaScript function in another JS file. So we have the function cannot be called unless it was defined in the same file or one loaded for the attempt to call. You declare a function f1 in the first, and then you have it in the second. You could consider, that's what I wanted. There we go. Export. And then it's going to be generate. Let's go back over here. And this is like really like the concept makes sense, but this coding is very new to me, right? But export function. You see how I just like try to figure it out as I go along, you know? Function. Duplicate function implementation. That didn't work out too well. Let me see. Maybe we can do it. How to use JavaScript function. But this is gonna be like this is gonna be what we get into more next week. So are you telling me? Okay, I think I got it. So let's say we go here. I think it's gonna be like this. I think it's like this, right? Export, and then like that, right? So now we go into here, and we're gonna say import, generate from. Boom! Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom. Right. So now inside of here, we're gonna say unique user info equals, or let's say let unique user info equals generate unique user info, right? So now we're going to have our dictionary for our for our username and our email address. Let's close that out. And now we're going to, I'm putting this in Python. I'm putting this in, well, yeah, let's do that with Playwright, right? That's where we started. So let's move this to the top. Because we have our function already created, right? So let's do it here. And I'm going to say let's refactor this to be the right way. Refactor, rename, generate unique username. Or I'm just going to rename this actually to, let's name that to unique username based on date, right? Let's take that. We're going to take this up here. We're going to say let that equals unique user info. And we're going to say based on user name, right? And then the next one, we're going to rename this one as well. Refactor. And we're going to call that one unique email address based on date, right? And even with my limited knowledge and understanding of TypeScript and JavaScript, I'm still able to come up with the concepts of how I want to clean up my code and stuff, right? Unique user info, and then that's going to be email address, right? Boom, look at that. So now let's see if we are able to run our Playwright test, right? And let me see. I only want to run in one browser, to be honest with you. Playwright run in specific browser. It's gonna be. It is the project flag. What did I put right last time? Anyways, so here we are. Let's go back to. Okay, so let's go to run this, right? Let's see if this works. I am very curious to know if this is gonna actually work, right? So let's do Playwright or npx Playwright. And we're going to say test. And we're going to say headed. And we're going to say, headed. And we're going to say project. And we're going to pass. What are the different ones? I thought it was Chromium, right? Headed project Firefox. Where are the options for it? Is it WebKit? I thought it was Chromium, but maybe it's WebKit. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe we have to put Chrome only. It is Chromium, I believe. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's not waste any more time on that. So we're gonna do npx. Let's say Chromium. All right, and we are going to run that. And what we're looking to see is the login? Is it going to create the? Is it going to create the username using the function that we created to simplify it? What? Did you see that? Did you see that? Right? So it actually used, from what I can see here, right? Because we're in the Playwright test. It actually used the. Let's throw out one of these, all right?
They believe in us.
Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look. Let's just stop the show real quick, right? I have my junior developer in the chat already typing in the chat. My junior developer is 20 months old now. 20 months old, already in the chat typing. Look at that. Look at that. Amazing. soon as he gets to be 24 months, he is going to be writing code, right? And then at 3, jujitsu. All right. So that was
Lunch
awesome.
break. Lunch break.
That was awesome. So now let's see how fast we can do this in Cypress now, right? And let's actually see if it's going to work in Cypress. And guess what? We can do the same exact thing in Selenium, I believe, right? So let's take a few minutes, right? Let's take a few minutes and then we're going to wrap it up, right? So let's go to Selenium. And if we do the same thing, right? So I'm just going to get rid of this code right here, right? You're out of it. 3 strikes, you are out of here, right? Boom. And we're going to say up here, we're going to say import generate unique info. Oh, there it goes from all that, right? And now we're going to say here, generate. So yeah, generate unique info. We're going to say here, same thing we did here. Let unique user name or user info equals. All right. And then we're going to come here and we're going to say, let unique username equals unique user info and then username, right? And then we're going to say let unique email address equals unique user info. Oops. Unique user info email address, right? So now we can just take that, take that, right? Take this one, put it here, boom. And we could name it the same thing that we named in Playwright. That's probably better to do, but you know, whatever. It's not that serious. And then unique email address, right? And we're gonna need it one more time down over here. Down over here. I mean, it's not gonna get that far anyways, but let's put it here. So now let's run our Selenium test now, right? So we're going to do node Selenium and whatever, right? Register test, right? We're just gonna do that and we're gonna see what happens, right? But it should be able to. Cannot use import statement outside. What did we do in Playwright? Because it's outside of there too. Import from. It's the same code. So if I just copy that. Cannot use import statement outside a module. Weird. But I think we're good for tonight on this part. We will pick it up next week where we will continue. We'll figure this out, right? Let me just do a quick look at this. I cannot go away with this error. Let's go and look at this. So, all right. Add type module to your JSON package. All right, so let's try that. JSON. Let's see, package.json. So let's see. It says add type module to your where did that go? I guess it's just in here. That. Try that one more time. If that doesn't work, then we're just gonna let it go. Nope. But if we go here, we get it there. It's so weird that we get this error here, but not inside of doing the Playwright test. Warning to load ES module, set type module in the package JSON or use the MJS extension. Maybe we. Well, whatever. We'll leave that be, and then we'll pick up on this part. But we made so much progress in Selenium because last week it was looking like a Debbie Downer. But we made so much progress in Selenium, and we shall pick it up, and then we're going to see if we can implement this in Cypress too next week. All right. So let's go to full screen. We are done for the night, right? But I was telling you a story, so I am going to finish that story. But before I do that, if you haven't done so yet, right? Do you see all the work we did? All this amazing work that we did to help you level up, giving you the information that you need, right? So that you can be better, so that you don't go through your little boot camp or your online course and then you start applying for jobs and you can't find anything because you were not adequately prepared, right? I am trying to help you get prepared because honestly, all right, I'm going to come closer, right? So here's the thing, right? Seeing all those complaints and crying on LinkedIn about how people need to be given a chance and all that stuff, it's a little annoying, right? Because if you're not adequately prepared for the job, then why should they hire you, right? So I'm just trying to help you get prepared because honestly, I don't like complaining. I'm allergic to complaining. It just makes me like itch and stuff like that when people start complaining. I just have to remove myself. So let's stop complaining and then start leveling up, right? Get the skills that you need so that you can do better, right? When you know better, you do better, or at least that's the hope. So that's what I'm doing here on this channel, right? So much content that I give you, so many thoughts, so many ideas, so many strategies that I give you to help you level up. So today's the day, right? And then if you need some extra content, exclusive content, then go over to www.techcoachralph.dev, where you will find tips on improving your resume, little ideas and projects that you can take on to challenge yourself to be better and stimulate your mind, all of that, right? So, and as well as getting one-on-one coaching with me, right? Spots are running out. So the top tier, it's almost sold out, right? And then so once that's sold out, until somebody leaves, I don't think I'm going to have the capacity to open up more. And then it just becomes the middle tier. And then once that middle tier is done, it's, after that, you might have to Manek me, right? Manek me, right? So let's get on with the story, okay? So this is what happens, right? How much time do you think it took to create these 57 jobs through the script, right? So what I did was as well, I put in in the script, you can pass in arguments and parameters. So let's say you do -b, right? Let's say, because Amazon has buckets, right? Say you want to specify a bucket, you put -b and you can put in the name of the bucket and whatever, right? So I put in arguments, I put in helpers, stuff that I never did before, but I'm learning because I'm like, oh, this would be cool. How do you do this, right? And so I'm Googling it and I'm like, okay, let's try that. Let's put that. And it makes it really, really cool, really, really informative, a really nice script, right? and I run it, right? And it finds all 57 of the things that it needs to the jobs it needs to generate, and it's going. And then when we go to use it, right? Nothing works. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It worked. It worked great. It was lovely. And so those 57 scripts, what it would have like, what do we calculate that it would take us to do the 57 scripts at? Let me do the math again, right? Because I don't remember what it was, right? So 57 scripts at 5 minutes manually would have taken us. Let's see, 57 times 5 minutes divided by 60. Basically, it's like 4 hours and 75, or 4 hours and 45 minutes, right? To create this. And if multiple of us were to be creating them, then it would have been faster. But then it's a waste of a bunch of engineers' times, because I'm an engineer as a software engineer. Or as a QA engineer, they are software engineers and stuff like that. Maybe we can get some of like the other, like, the project manager, the scrum master to help us create them and stuff like that. But that's a waste of all of our times, right? And then like trying to get them the right permissions and stuff like that, make sure everybody has the right permissions, a big waste of time, right? So how much time did it take us to execute the script, right? So after I got the script working, and I see that I created like some sample jobs and everything like that to make sure that it was able to like actually do it. So I created to make sure it's able to work, because you have to test your work, right? It took to create 57 jobs, right? Ready for this? Are you ready for this? Right? $30 seconds. And 30 seconds it might be too long that I'm saying. It might be a reach, right? But it was quick. It's quick. So then now we're like, oh well, maybe we can, if we generate these files this way, right? And so another file, like to try to make the jobs run faster, we created it in a different way. And at one point, like the way that we created it, we had like almost 500 different files, right? But the script that can be used over and over and over, because we're like, there's gonna be future things that we're gonna be doing with the same process that we're gonna be using the same script, right? So this saves so much time, right? So now, let's say with those 500, it's still about 30 seconds. It just loops through it and it just creates all these jobs, right? And it just does everything for you at that point, right? 30 seconds. So we went from, what do we calculate at, like 452 hours? So let's say we're at 4 hours and 4.75 hours, right? And we're gonna have to do it for about we're gonna do it for, let's say 10 of them. So 40. So let's say 47 hours, right? 47 hours saved. Now that, let's say 30 seconds. So let's say 47 compared to, or 48 hours compared to 30 seconds times like 10, was it? Or he's 11. So 5 minutes to create all these jobs in totality, right? 5 minutes to create all these jobs compared to 47 hours, right? And the reason that I share that story with you, right, is because that is what you gain, and the trust that you gain from working with your team and stuff like that, when you let go of the stupid mentality of, oh, that's not my job, right? Because you don't, like, you lose the ability to contribute to a team and to use your knowledge, your expertise, your creativeness, right, to further along. Like if you just stay in that little corner of, oh, I'm just gonna do my job, then you don't add any value. Like, I mean, you add the value of doing your job, but there's so like because now when they're looking for promotions and stuff like that, or when they're looking for okay, who can do this job, who can do this task, who can we look to put on the pathway, right? If you go outside of like if you push forward, you grow, then they see you, right? You become noticeable and visible, right? What we went from we saved 47 hours compared to 5 minutes. 47 hours compared to 5 minutes. And the 5 minutes, right? Like, and the 5 minutes, right? It's more of like after you spend 1 second to kick off like the creation thing, you're just waiting for it to be done in like 30 seconds, right? So that like my point to you is you have to let go of the mentality of, oh, that's not my job. Teamwork, right? Teamwork. That's the goal. The goal is to win. Focus on winning, and then all that other nonsense goes out the table. It goes out the door, right? When you're looking at like sports and stuff like that. The point guard's job is to bring up the ball down the court, right? But you'll see like some point guards, they're out there getting rebounds and stuff like that and pushing the ball, right? You know, so you have to let go of the mentality, oh, I'm too good for this. Oh, that's not my wheelhouse. Oh, that's not my expertise. Well, learn it and make it your like Terraform wasn't my expertise at all, right? But I saw the opportunity where there's things I needed to do. I could add value, and I'm learning it, and I'm learning it for myself as well as to contribute to the team. And the last month, I said, all right, let me try to implement some of the stuff that I learned in Terraform, and it worked. The only problem that we ran into was like some credential stuff that we're going to figure out on the next go round, right? That we have some time to do it. But the point is, let go of the mentality of, oh, it's not my job, right? Make it your job and crush it. And they're going to see you. And if they don't see you, right, you learn something new that, as LeBron James said, he was taking his talents to South Beach, right? You have to gain that talent, gain those skills, and then you can take it to wherever you want to go. Go where you are appreciated, not where you're tolerated. But you have to make yourself appreciable. I don't think that's a word, right? But you know what I'm trying to say, right? Make yourself wanted, make yourself needed, right? Make them that for them to live without you, their lives are going to be hard, right? And the way that you do that is you have to put your hands in everything and contribute to the conversation, contribute to the work. Say, I am part of the team. I'm not just this little part right here who's like, oh, I'm just going to wait for you to tell me what to do or to give me something to do. No, be part of the process, right? Go out there and win. Okay. So that is my final message to you, right? Hopefully this story, you found it enjoyable, entertaining, informative, all of that good stuff, right? Right? Hopefully that's the case. If not, then sucks for you, right? Sucks for you. But before we wrap up the night, right? You know what I have to ask you a question. Oh, actually, no, before we wrap up, I have to get to our poll question, right? What was the results of the poll, right? Let me go ahead and end it right now. So we have a landslide victory. Everyone said to learn Flutter. So we are going to be maybe starting Monday. We're going to be moving on to focusing on Flutter, right? 100% landslide victory. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be focusing on Flutter. We're going to be building. I'll give you more details as we start doing that. But we're going to be learning Flutter, using test-driven development, and we're going to build a keto macros calculator app where you're just going to be able to enter the macros, eventually be able to scan the barcode on an item, and it's going to tell you whether it is keto or not. And the keto, I already built the formula in a Google Sheets calculator, right? To calculate it, to see about the protein ratio to the fat ratio and the total calories and all that good stuff, which I have been using that the past couple of weeks to get ready for competition on Saturday. Oh yeah, by the way, competition on Saturday. Check out the Tech Coach Ralph Let's Talk BJJ channel. You know, let me drop it in the chat, right? Should have did that earlier, right? But let's go to competition on Saturday, right? Let's go to and that channel. I just put my jiu-jitsu training post training videos, as well as going to use it for going live to review the jiu-jitsu videos. All right, so let's throw that in there. Let's throw that in here. Boom. So go ahead and subscribe to that channel as well if you are interested in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and my training and competition reviews, all that good stuff. All right. So with that being said, that is it for tonight. But I have to ask you that one question. We're not going to forget the question. The question of the night for you is:
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Are you not entertained? I had a ball. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I truly, truly appreciate all of you for being here.
I appreciate you.
But on that note, it is time for me to depart, right? Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, good guy, for hanging out with me. Thank you to my favorite junior developer at 20 months old for tuning into the show tonight. But we are out. See you guys on Sunday. Actually, see you guys tomorrow morning. We're going live tomorrow morning. The Bug Bite at noon tomorrow. And then Sunday, we're going to be terraforming it up. But on that note, I'm out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts. Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Hear me, warriors of the North. Today we have tasted the sweet nectar of victory. Our foes indeed defeated, and their lands are now bow before us. The gods themselves have favored our glorious deeds on this glorious day. We have shed blood, sweat, and tears to claim this land. Our relentless spirit, our unyielding determination. These are the very essence of our people. The spirit of our ancestors rejoice in the halls of Valhalla. For today, we have added to their eternal glory. Our victories will echo throughout the ages, and our names will be etched in the annals of history. But let us not forget the present pain the brothers and sisters we lost. They now feast in the hall of our forefathers, watching over us with pride. Their sacrifice has paved the way for this moment of triumph. As we celebrate this conquest, let us also remember that our journey is far from over. More land awaits our conquest, more battles call us forth, and the fire in our hearts burn ever brighter, for there is no limit to what we can achieve. To those who dare stand against us, let them tremble in fear, They shall witness the fury of the northern storm, the wrath of the untamed barbarians. Today we celebrate our victory. Tomorrow, we set our sights on new horizons. 109 where our band will fly high. We are Vikings, we're barbarians, we are masters of conquest.